Have you ever closed an app and feel nothing? Not entertained, not informed, just vaguely empty. Like you just ate a bag of chips for dinner and now your mouth is sad and your stomach is confused. Yeah, that. Here's a weird thought experiment. Imagine someone offers you a trade. They will give you the next hour of your life, or 60 minutes. And all you have to do in return is give them the hour that they gave you. That's it. An hour for an hour. You would laugh in their face, right? Of course you would. Because what's the point of trading an hour for the exact same hour back? That's not a deal. That's just standing still. But here's the uncomfortable part. Every single time you open a social media app and just scroll, not posting, not creating, not even commenting, you are making that exact trade with yourself. You are handing your future self an empty hour in exchange for absolutely nothing. Look around on any bus, any waiting room, any dinner table, heads down, thumb moving, eye glaze. We spend so much of our day just absorbing, watching, scrolling. And if you are honest with yourself, a lot of that time doesn't even feel good. It feels like snacking on air. You are full of nothing. And yet, most of us feel weirdly guilty when we stop, like we're missing out, like we should be there in the feed just in case something happens. But here's what I start to believe. Somewhere along the way, we forgot that human beings were designed to make things, to build things, to create, and we traded that for the endless, soothing hum of the infinite scroll. Today, we're going to talk about how to break that loop, how to stop consuming and start creating, not in a cheesy, hustle culture, grind every waking moment kind of way, but in a way that might actually makes you feel like a human being again. Let's rewind about 15 years, before the infinite scroll, before the algorithms knew your dark secrets, back when the internet was something you did, not something that happened to you. The early webs was fundamentally different. You logged on with a purpose. You checked your email, you visit a handful of forums or blogs, you chatted with your friends on AIMS, and then this is the crucial part. You logged off. The internet was a tool, a destination, not an atmosphere you breathe 24/7. Then everything changed. The smartphone arrived, social media went mobile, and suddenly the internet was no longer something you visited. It became something you inhabited. Here's where it gets diabolical. The business module of the modern internet isn't about selling you product. It's about selling you, your attention, your eyeballs, your seconds and minutes and hours packaged up and auctioned off to advertisers. Every time you scroll past an ad, someone just made money off your existence. You are not the customer. You are the product being sold. And the most valuable things you can do from that perspective: consume, watch, scroll. Don't think, don't question, don't make anything. Just keep those eyeballs glued to the screen. This is the ecosystem we've been living in. And if we're being honest, it's not working. We feel it in our bones. That low grade anxiety after 2 hours on the couch, that's feelings of what did I even do today? That's nagging sense that life is slipping through our fingers one swipe at a time. But there's a quiet revolutions happening in the cracks. A small but growing numbers of people are starting to ask a very dangerous question. What if I made something instead? Here's what everyone tells you about modern media consumptions. And I mean everyone. From your phone screen time report to the wellness influencers on your feeds to your own tired brains at 11 p.m. The accepted narratives go something like this. Consumptions is relaxing. Consumptions is how you unwind. You work hard all day and then you deserve to turn your brain off and scroll. Sounds familiar? Of course it does. It's the story we have all been told. The tech company love this narrative because it keeps you on their platform. The productivity gurus love it because it gives you something to tell you. Digital detoxes, focus apps, phone lockboxes. Even your friends love it because nobody wants to be a buzzkill who says, hey, maybe we shouldn't be all be zombies. The narratives also says that creating is hard. Creations is for professionals, for artists, for people who have talents and times and expensive cameras. Regular people, we are just consumers. That's our role in this economy. We watch, we like, we share, we buy, but we don't make. And look, there's some truth here. Creations is harder than consumptions. Writing a song takes more efforts than listening to one. Cooking a meal takes more energy than ordering delivery. Drawing a picture takes more focus than scrolling past one. This isn't controversial. But here's where the accepted narrative starts to crack. The problem isn't that creation is hard. The problem is that we have been sold a lie about consumptions actually does for us. We think we are relaxing when we scroll, but if you pay close attention, how do you actually feel after an hour on Instagram? Not great, right? A little bit foggy, a little bit guilty, a little like you just ate a whole pizza by yourself and now you're just there. That doesn't sound like relaxations. That sounds like a bad relationship. Here's the twist that's changed everything. Passive consumption isn't neutral, it's actively harmful. I'm not talking about moral harms. I'm not saying that scrolling TikTok is a sin. I'm talking about the kind of harm you can feel in your own head, your focus, your patience, your ability to just sit with a thought. You've noticed it, right? You try to watch a movie without checking your phone. It feels almost painful. You try to read a book for more than 10 minutes. Your brain starts itching for a notifications. You sit in silence for 30 seconds and you feel anxious. That's not coincidence. That's what happens when you train your brain on quick hits, short clips, fast cuts, instant gratifications. You're basically teaching your attention span to have a memory of a goldfish. And then we wonder why we feel scattered, why we can't finish things, why we have 20 tabs open in our brains at all times. Here's the real twist though. The counterintuitive insight that changed everything. Creations is actually the antidote. When you create something, anything, you're forcing your brain into a different mode. You are not passively receiving, you are actively building. You are solving problems. You are slowing down, engaging with the world instead of hiding from it. And here's the beauty irony. Creation does not have to be good to work. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to show anyone. You just have to make something. A journey entry, a photograph, a terrible drawing, a 3-second video of your cat, a note to a friend, a meal you cook from scratch, a Lego tower, a half-finished novel that nobody will ever read. The act of creation rewires your brain. It reminds you you are not just a passive observer of reality. You are an active participant in it. Okay, so we have established that passive consumption is quietly messing with our head and that creations might be the antidote. But let's zoom out for a second. What does this actually mean for us on a broader level? This isn't about personal productivity or feeling better about your screen time. This is about the fundamental shapes of modern life. Think about what happens to a society where most people are passive consumers, where the dominant mode of engagement is scrolling, watching, and buying, where the most rewarded behavior is staying in your lane and letting the algorithms tell you what to think. That society stopped making things, not just physical products, but ideas, art, culture, solutions to problems, new ways of seeing the world. When everyone is consuming the same content, everyone starts thinking the same thoughts. And when everyone think the same thought, innovation dies, creativity dies, democracy starts to suffocate. Here's the harsh truth that nobody wants to say it out loud. The passive consumption economy is a system designed to keep you small. It doesn't want you to start a podcast. It wants you to listen to one. It doesn't want you to write a newsletter. It wants you to subscribe to one. It doesn't want you to learn an instrument. It wants you to watch someone else play on YouTube. Every moment you spend consuming is a moment you're not spending becoming. And the cost of that is invisible but devastating. It's a novel that you never wrote, the business you never started, the conversations you never had, the skills you never learned, the version of yourself that never got to exist. The old philosophers talk about this without ever touching a smartphone. They said the examined life wasn't worth living. I would add the unlived life, the life spent watching instead of doing, is barely a life at all. There's a reason that every spiritual traditions and philosophical school across human history has emphasized creations, actions, and making. Because that's what doing the work of being human actually looks like. We are not sponges. We are not cameras. We are makers. So here's where we land. The shift from consuming to creating isn't about productivity porn. It's not about grinding 24/7 until you burn out. It's not about shaming yourself for watching a movie or reading a book or enjoying a lazy afternoon. It's about balance. It's about remembering that you have hands that can build things, a voice that can speak things, a mind that can imagine things. And those things matter, not because they're good enough to sell, or pretty enough to post, or impressive enough to impress anyone. They matter because you made them. Just start small. Write one sentence, draw one line, cook one meal, send one note, plant one seed. The audience doesn't matter. What matters is that you shift from being a passenger in your own life to being the driver. I once heard someone said that the most dangerous addictions isn't drugs or alcohol, it's comfort. The comfort of sitting back, the comfort of letting someone else do the work, the comfort of watching. And that comfort is a trap, a warm, soft, well designed trap. And here's my challenge to you right now, today. Close the app, put down the phone, and make one small thing, just one. Your future self will thank you, not because you'll be richer or more famous or more productive, but because you will remember what it feels like to live instead of just watch. Now, go make something.